Have you ever heard of Bainbridge, Georgia? Because I hadn't. Have you ever heard of Ezra Lusk? Probably. Ezra Lusk, as in the motocross racer from back in the early 2000s. He used to own a racetrack in Bainbridge, Georgia. It got acquired by the Bulger family and is now the Southern Training Facility. It is an awesome facility with multiple tracks and trails for amateur riders and pro riders alike. We're out here today to talk about what to expect when you get to Southern Training Facility. If you haven't been to my channel before, welcome. My name is Alex. I like to travel around the country going to different motocross facilities to let you know as a rider what to expect when you get there. On an unassuming property off the highway, you've got a facility that has a pro motocross track, a sand track, a night track. There's also an oval track over there. There's a pit bike track that way. There's a turn track that way. There's trails in the woods that way and trails in the woods that way. This is going to be a fun day, so let's get geared up and go explore the property. All right, let's start at the beginning here. So when you pull in, you've got the campground on the right where you do have hookups for campers and RVs. They do have that you can book online. If you're coming just for a day ride, go past this main sign here and you'll see the tracks. When I first got here, I didn't know where to go, so I kind of just drove around aimlessly until I figured it out. Here you've got the turn track, which looks to be very well groomed. It is a deep red Georgia clay. It does have chunks in it, so it could be okay for smaller wheel bikes, kids on beginner bikes. But again, this is a training facility, so this is not necessarily something for true beginners, but you could probably do it. Past the turn track, you've got the entrance to the main parking area and all of the day parking, the registration booth and bathrooms. A couple other tracks back that way. And then over here we've got the pit bike track. This is more of a sandy type terrain. This could be great for beginners. This could be great for kids on 50s, kids on 110s. It's a cool little setup here. Or, like me, on an electric bike or a pit bike. You know what? Let's go rip a lap. I'm in eco mode on this raw right now, so it is not super torquey. I don't know which way to go. Let's go to the right. Oh, that's a dead end. All right, so at the top of the hill, go left. And then back down the hill. Now this is actually pretty cool. I like that little step down. It's a basketball court right there. Missing the basketball hoop. All right. That is a lap of the pit bike track. Back to the day parking area, you'll see this house. This is where you can sign in. But I want to point this out because this is important. This is an online registration facility. He did not take payment from me in person. He had me go onto this website for mxtix.com, STF Raceway. I will put the link to this below in the description. You can register, set up an account if you already have one. There's a lot of tracks that are using MX tickets now. But that QR code and that link will bring you directly into their page where you can buy day passes, memberships, RV parking. All of the stuff that you need to pay for is on that website there, including the waiver. Back in the day parking area, you have a few tracks. On the right hand side you have what's called the night track. That is a primarily sand track. You can see on my left there's an oval track. Within that there is a pee-wee track, a little small single trail type track. Also back here you have the sand track. Now I'm running this backwards right now. That goes clockwise. Oh man, look at that rut. Look at that wall right there. That is so cool. Rollers in a turn with the wall. There's tire treads on it. That is awesome. Oh, I'm excited. And you can see off in the distance, way back there, you've got the pro motocross track. We are just scratching the surface with this property too. There are so many things you can do out here. The pro motocross track looks to be in phenomenal shape. Beautiful red dirt. I'm excited to go ride that. Now, keep in mind, I am not a pro rider. I am not even a fast rider. I am just somebody who likes to ride a lot and wants to help out the community figure out what tracks have to offer. Let's do a lap of the night track. This is a sight lap. I always do my sight laps for a few reasons. Oh no! I think they got stuck. You good? You sure?
Yeah, I got a winch for it.
Tied to what? To the starting gate?
Yeah, they're heavy.
Okay. Oh, I'm totally filming this, yeah.
I don't blame you.
Oh, he's pulling the gate. He's pulling the gate. Yo, yo. Okay. He is not moving. Now he's moving now. He's moving. He's moving. Good job. All right, let's try that again. Slight lap of the night track here. So as I was saying, I like to show my sight laps for a few reasons. One, it gives me an excuse to be slow, and two, I get to show you my first impressions of the track. Because I've never been to this facility, I've never ridden these tracks. I like how wide it is. I like how there's options so far. It's on inside-outside lane. I'm not sure what to do there. Those tires were kind of concerning. Definitely deep sand. I think this is not a jump. Oh, it is a jump. I was thinking it was an anthill or something like that. Slow down the riders. So as you can see, everything is very rollable for somebody who is not a super fast rider. But being as it is deep sand, I would not recommend a beginner come out here if you've never ridden on sand before, because you have to stay on the gas and you have to know how to balance it in the sand. Also, tires are going to be key. You got to have good tires. There's a big double there. Thought it was a tabletop, so it kind of threw me for a little bit. I love the bowl turns. The big berms are nice in the sand. All right, cool. That's a whole lap. Let's pull off and talk about it for a second. I like the sand track. The sand track has a good layout to it. It's got some left-hand bowl turns, right-hand bowl turns, some ruts, rhythm sections, some whoops. Not really whoops, I guess I could call them rollers. Doubles, tabletops, and jumps that can be triples if you're fast enough. One thing I mentioned in the sight lap is that this is an okay track for people who want to roll jumps. As you saw in my sight lap, I didn't clear anything, and that's totally fine. It's safe to do so. You don't need to be going completely as fast as possible and clearing everything to ride that track. As a vet rider, it's fun as long as you have traction and you know how to ride on sand. As a beginner rider, it's probably going to be the same thing. Make sure you have good tires if you come out to ride the sand track. Correction, I was calling that the sand track because of the amount of sand. That is the night track. There is a sand track, which is even sandier than the night track. So let's go check out that one next, see what we think of the actual sand track. So again, this is the sand track. Let's do a sight lap out here and see how slow I am in really, really deep sand. I have seen videos of, I've seen videos of Haiden Deegan absolutely ripping up this track. Obviously, I am not Haiden Deegan. But he is here today, though. I don't know if I'll be able to go see him, but had a nice conversation with the owner earlier. Keep in mind as you're watching this, this is a training facility. This is not meant to be a highway. This is meant to be a place where riders can go and hone skills in really rough conditions like this. The owner also did tell me that the kids that are staying here on property and camping and training, oh my gosh, I'm not even gonna try that. I hate ruts, especially when they're that deep. This is not a beginner track. This is not a vet-friendly track. This is a cool track. This is a long track. This is, like I said, a training track. So keep that in mind. This is not a track that I would ride on a regular basis because it's very intimidating. Like, good grief. But I have no idea what's the other side of that jump. It's actually not that deep of sand except for the turns. And then you've got some serious ruts. That is a crazy speed check. Man. Oh my gosh. This track is too much, man. This track is too much for me. If you want a hard track, if you want a complicated journey, if you want to learn to get better in sand, this is a fantastic place to check out. This track has a bit of everything in it right now. High speed, slow speed, technical. This is a great training track. I'm not sure who the primary coaches they have are on staff here, or if they have anybody on staff, but check out their social media to see if you can get some training in. If you're wanting to train for Loretto's, Minios, or anything like that in the Florida, Georgia area, this is the Pro Supercross track. Oh my goodness, that is massive. Look at those jumps. Look at that. Look at how peaked those are. Good grief. You know, you watch these guys on TV and you're like, yeah, I could do that. Nope, I can't do that. I could not do that. Wow. Whole new level of respect. But damn, that is some great looking grooming. Let's talk about something real quick. I'm wandering aimlessly around the property. I've never been here before. When I first pulled in, I didn't know where to park. I didn't know where to go. Something that I think this facility would really benefit from is signage. What track is where? I found the map of the property on Facebook, but there's no entrances marked. There's no directionals marked. I'm just not sure as a new person what to do. I'm going to go find the owner and ask him. So if you are here and you have the same concern, go ask the owner. Say, where do I go? How do I get to the trails? Where's the entrance? What direction do I go? Signs would make that so much easier and safer. Now let's go do a lap of the pro track and hope I don't get scared off by it like I did the sand track. They obviously do racing here, so that's the starting gate and starting line. Nice soft Georgia clay, not too blue grooved, at least not yet. I don't know last time they groomed it, but it looks great. See, it gets compacted there. Rollable tabletop. I'm gonna go wide because I hate ruts, like I've been saying all video. And yes, I would ride differently if I were not the only one out here. I would ride differently in a race situation. But because I'm the only one, I can pick and choose my line kind of at the last second if I need to. That's a bit intimidating for sure. Especially not knowing what's on the other side of it the first time. That's a huge step up triple. This is an awesome layout though. I like. Going too slow, I was talking to myself. I like the variation in the jumps. You've got tabletops, you've got step ups, you've got step downs, you've got doubles. Man, some of these are really big. This is a long track too, this is great. Look at that wall. Look, cutting the track right there to jump over that little hip. I think we're more than halfway done at this point, but there's still a lot left. Getting into the sand mix. Being on the hillside gives you a cool variation. You've got the clay up top and the sand on the bottom. That's pretty cool. And if you don't like ruts, you better learn to like them. Not a bad thing. It's just, I'm not good at ruts. There's a full lap. All right, let's pull off and talk about it. Doesn't that look just so pretty back there? Oh my goodness. You don't get that in Texas. You don't even get that in Florida. We are on the Florida and Georgia line, so you got a cool mix of clay and sand. This is a really cool composite in this track. The fact that you've got clay up top and then sand in the front section, it trains you really well. I keep saying this is a training facility and it's doing a great job at that. It's going to get people better at ruts, better at line selection, better at jumping. This is a cool place to come if you want to take a class, if you want to be a better rider for sure. But let's talk about the Pro Track from my perspective. Even though it's called the Pro Track, this can be ridden by intermediate, advanced, expert level riders. You don't have to be a pro level rider to ride this. As a vet rider, you could absolutely still ride this. You could roll this. You just saw me roll every single jump out there. There are a couple faces that are intimidating, but once you do a lap, you know what's on the other side and you can roll that a bit more confidently. There's nothing peaked like we saw on the Supercross track. You can roll literally everything out here and be totally safe. You could ride this whole track sitting down if you really wanted to. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could do it. Which is pretty cool for a guy that's coming in saying, I want to ride a track the pros can ride and still be able to make it around. I'm confident that most vet riders and intermediate level riders could do that. As for racing out here, they do have a very large starting gate that is on the dirt, but there are a couple pads for training on metal. You can see the expended metal grates right there and there. That way, if people are practicing for Supercross or some motocross tracks around the country, they've got those metal starting gates now. It gives you the ability to practice what you're going to be racing on. One thing I don't usually comment on, but I want to call this out because it is really cool. There are access roads all around the entire track at this track on the Pro Track here. That means not just for grooming purposes, for watering the track and whatnot with the water truck, but it means you can get emergency equipment out there much easier and faster. Let's talk a little bit about my thoughts on the property as a whole, as a racing facility. There are a lot of track options here. There are a lot of track variations here. So because of that, I think that increases both the value and also the driving distance that you should take to get to a track like this. Because it's an online registration, it's $43 plus a fee, ends up being about $45 after all the fees included. I think $45 is totally fair for a track of this caliber. I mean, look at that Pro Track and how pretty it is, and how much effort it takes to groom it. Not all of the tracks are groomed all of the time, so check their social media to see which track they're grooming, what it's going to look like, and which track you want to ride. That might change how far you would drive too. For a regular ride day, I'd say a 3 to 3.5 hour time frame is what I would want to drive to come to a place like this. Now, if you are a racer really looking to train, I feel like that distance is actually further because of how much you can learn at a place like this with those variations of tracks and the difference of terrain. I think that is a very huge value add. So if you're looking to do some serious training, I'm not quite sure what to put on a time frame for that because that's not me. But as a weekend warrior vet rider, I'd say that 3 to 3.5 hour time frame is where I'd like to be locked in to come to this track. All in all, this has been a great facility for me to check out. I'm glad I was able to finally stop by and see this place and ride some of the tracks. I wasn't able to make it to the trails, but I'm short on time. I gotta head to my next track for my next video. So hopefully this was helpful. I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe out there, have fun, and go ride some more.